In our next video, you will hear from our Parents of the Year, Mr. and Mrs. Eli Verschleiser. They are truly dedicated to their children, the Yeshiva, to Klal Yisrael as a whole, and this drives them to action and involvement on all fronts. They are truly an awarding couple as Parents of the Year, and truly a couple that we can emulate with their hard work on behalf of Moshe Torah v'Chesed. Please turn to the video.
In 1998, myself and a few other individuals who were involved in helping teens at risk or teens in risk decided to get together and actually create an organization. To date, our place has helped over 15,000 children. I went through many years of ups and downs as a teenager and as a young adult, and that is what draws me to giving back and to helping these teens and these young adults.
I found that a lot of the kids that were coming through our place were also being sexually abused. We need to figure out a way to go backwards and prevent the kids from getting this way to begin with, not just after they're already at risk. So we started together Magenu. It's an organization that we have dedicated to the prevention of abuse in our community.
Eli and Shani Verschleiser represent the best in our parents. They have become involved in many important communal endeavors on behalf of children in the community. Their children obviously have grown and learned from their parents. They are concerned, they are caring and kind children, which speaks a lot about their parents. We're very proud of Eli and Shani Verschleiser.
So I am a Prospect alumni, nursery through 12th grade. My whole life, that's Prospect. It was a very good experience for me. We had phenomenal teachers, academically outstanding. You know, there's a lot of really amazing, warm teachers that you can kind of talk to, not just about schoolwork, but that notice you as a person and kind of take like more of an interest. I remember being in high school constantly, you know, everybody has their chesed hours and, you know, you kind of are sent to where you need to go. It's an amazing, you know, kind of built-in program, and it teaches you from an early age that your job as a Jewish girl is not just to kind of take care of yourself, but to really give back. So when we had kids, it was sort of a no-brainer. When we had girls, where to send them to, you know, where to send them to school. It was sort of like, you know, Prospect.
I find it extremely impressive that Prospect is able to keep up with the times, although it's a school that started many, many years ago, is able to continuously educate and implement extremely important programming for the children.
When the girls are in school, they learn in a certain way where they find this love for what they're doing.
It's an amazing feeling that you see your children have that desire for learning. I think actually Prospect should open a boys' school. I think that the way they teach is amazing, and in today's times it's very, very important that children have that foundation and that upbringing and that schooling specifically.
It's like you really feel connected once you're there, like you're part of this sort of forever, which is, you know, pretty amazing. I think as a parent, all you want is for your kids to be happy. They're happy.
That's going to be in the video.
Tonight you see just two small samples of what our alumni can accomplish. Two parents that are really, really superstars in the Jewish community today. Eli, please join me up here for the presentation. And in the ladies section, please turn to table 12 for Mrs. Verschleiser's flowers. Okay. You take this, I'll read it. Parents of the Year presented to Eli and Shani Verschleiser for establishing a home that is imbued with the ideals of Torah and Chesed, for caring about the safety and development of all children, for always seeking to strengthen our Masorah. Benos Leah, Prospect Park, 82nd Annual Dinner, 19th of Adar Aleph, 5776, Rabbi Avram Kelman Dean, Mr. David Pfeffer, President. Another sandwiches. We're not picturing, doesn't go. Okay.
On a personal note, the relationship of our families, my wife and I's families, with the Kalmanovich and Birnbaum families go back a ways. My mother and Rebbetzin Birnbaum were classmates under the tutelage of Rebbetzin Vichler Kaplan in Beis Yaakov, Williamsburg. The first thing Rebbetzin Birnbaum asked me when I greeted her was, "How's your mother?" Even a generation prior to that, my father-in-law, his name was Reb Naftali Baruch, worked very closely with the Rav Ram Kalmanovich Zatzal, helping tens of thousands of Yidden post-World War II, orchestrating all the work of the Vat Hatzal operations. Anyway, 28 years ago, our family was zeichet to something special. As Esti, our oldest, entered the class of Mora Gittel Shapansky. Bashi and I recall, how Mora Shapansky portrayed our role models, the Ovos and Imoyos, so beautifully. Mora Shapansky's love of the mitzvahs of HaKadosh Baruch Hu are only surpassed by her sincere avo of each and every one of her talmidos. All of this continues to be done in her own matter of exemplary midas tovos and genuine simchas achayim. The Shapansky family, a family of Torah royalty, are here with us this evening. To them we say, thank you for sharing Mora Shapansky with us, her Prospect Park Benos Leah family. And to Mora Shapansky we say, may you continue to get together with your wonderful family for Dvar Meshibek Dusha and good health for many years to come. Please give your attention to the video monitors for a special glimpse of this special person.
For 37 wonderful, special years. For most of the time, I taught preschool, pre-1A. The past 7 years, they finally moved me up to Kita Aleph, and I love it with a passion. Teaching children, they were not able to read Hebrew before. They were not able to write Hebrew before. They don't really have such a knowledge bank of hashkafic things and the Torah and the Parsha and the mitzvos and the Yom Tovim, and I'm doing it. I'm a representative of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I'm teaching them the Masorah. I'm a link in the Masorah chain. Because of what I'm putting in, the Masorah continues, and they'll continue with their children, Amir Hashem. My father happened to have been Reb Shmuel Berenbaum, and he lived this and breathed this. Nobody even had to teach it to me. Just watching him, watching his tremendous, tremendous love of Torah, of Klal Yisrael. He gave up his whole life. You know, when you live it and breathe it, you know, it becomes part of the air. It's natural to me.
I'm very excited about working with Mrs. Shapansky because she is excited and passionate about teaching, to the point where she is constantly looking for new methods that will help her reach out to the students, for new approaches, for new ways of teaching Aleph Beis, of teaching Kriya, of giving over whatever she feels inside of her to the students. And her hischadshus, her enthusiasm, is contagious and makes a very important roshim, not only on the students, but on other teachers as well.
The way children understand today, it's not the way they understood even 5 years ago. It's completely different. And the teacher needs, you need to open your mind. And instead of, handing it to them, I try a lot to get out of them. A fact is a fact. You can't change the facts of Torah. But you can get the children to figure out sometimes what's happening here.
I find that I learn a lot from Mora Gittel in all areas of life. She makes everything that she teaches, it's real. She teaches her Pasha, she makes it come alive. She sees the children for who they are, and she doesn't look to make them what they're not, but to make them the best that they can be.
When a child feels that the teacher cares about her as an individual person, it builds a relationship between child and teacher, and that's how to get through to a child. The child feels the trust, she can trust you, and that you love her and you care about her, she's going to learn from you. It's just been a tremendous, tremendous pleasure working with the Prospect Park parent body, working with the Prospect Park Hanhala, and I feel extremely blessed and fortunate, and I hope Hashem gives me the strength to do it until Mashiach comes, with Hashem.
Outstanding Chinuch Award presented to Mrs. Gittel Shapansky in recognition of her wonderful contribution to the Chinuch of our Talmidos and for being an outstanding role model for her students and fellow teachers. She pours her koiches into her students and imbues them with the love of Yiddishkeit and Kedusha. Prospect Park B'nai Suleya 82nd Annual Dinner, Rabbi Avram Kelman Dean, Dr. Avich Mendel, Board Chairman, and myself.
Dinner will now be served. Enjoy, and we will come back for the guest speaker, Rabbi Wallerstein, after the dinner is served. Enjoy.
Shalom Aleichem, how are you? Yeah? Nice to see you. Everyone's well? Okay. And after you did. Okay. You know repentance a long time.
Rabbi? Brothers on the dais. I'll come here. Luda, then see you later. Come to the love of the hand.
We're not
Oh, you don't want this, right? Okay. All right.
Right
Our guest speaker this evening really needs no introduction. Anyone involved in chinuch, children at risk, or any other issue that revolves around chinuch knows the name of Rabbi Wallerstein. Founder and director of Ornava, he has become a fearless vision, a person with deep conviction and unfailing warmth for each and every soul that he touches. A little over a decade ago, when all the problems with children at risk started to come to the forefront, Rabbi Wallerstein dared to step out of the box, founded Ornava when there was nothing else out there to help those kids. You can find Rabbi Wallerstein in the most unassuming places. You can find him in community centers. You can find him in mental institutions. You can find him in the pool halls. You could find him on the streets. He's there to save every neshama one at a time. Rabbi Wallerstein is not a person who is necessarily politically correct. Rabbi Wallerstein's mantra is, we have to do whatever is necessary to save and help each and every child that needs our attention. And for that, we owe Rabbi Wallerstein a debt of gratitude, not just from our yeshiva, but from the entire Jewish community. It is truly a pleasure to present to you Rabbi Wallerstein to be our guest speaker this evening.
Thank you very much for the eulogy. Appreciate it. I hate to disagree, but I've never been in a pool hall, but okay. Thank you very much. Someone just said there's always a first time. Okay. Thank you very much for this honor of speaking tonight. Rishus, the Rabbeim, the Rosh Yeshiva. Now, Rosh Yeshiva of a girls' school, I have to say to the rabbi that when they call me up at weddings, Ornava girls, so they call me up as Rosh Yeshiva of Ornava. Everybody turns around like, what does that mean, a Rosh Yeshiva of a girls' school? Well, a Rosh Yeshiva is the head of a yeshiva. A Rosh Yeshiva is a person who takes responsibility for everything that goes right and for everything that goes wrong. And I think that Rabbi Kellerman definitely does that, and therefore he is the Rosh Yeshiva of the school. And it's a great honor for me to speak. I thought about what I would like to speak about tonight. There's a lot of subject matter. And I thought really we should talk about the koyach, the strength of a Bas Yisrael, being that this is a school that teaches chinuch to our daughters and to the daughters of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So I'd like to go back to this past week's parsha in the Medrash Rabbah. And the Medrash Rabbah says the following. It says, Vayar ha'am ki boishesh Moshe l'redas min ha'or, and the nation saw that Moshe was delayed. So Aaron HaKohen said to Klal Yisrael, please, Parku nizmei hazav asher ba'oznei the sheichem b'nechem uv'noisechem ve'evilu Eloi. He said, bring me the earrings in your wife's ears, your daughter's ears. And the Medrash says the following. Why did he say that? Because he knew the following, and I think this is very important. Amma Aaron lahem dava kasha. Aaron said something that would be hard. Shahanashim b'derech klal misakfis by. Women don't give up their jewelry. Shehem roi kol anisim v'hagvuros. But that is not the reason the Medrash says that women don't give up their jewelry. But over here, the women saw all the miracles, just like the men. She'asa Kadosh Baruch Hu b'Mitzrayim, Bayam u'B'Sinai. The women saw the nisim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did in Mitzrayim at the Yam and his Sinai. Holchul Eitzel Hanashim. Aaron HaKohen went to the women. Amdu Aleihem v'Amru. Chas v'Chalila, they said to Aaron HaKohen. Shenichbe b'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. chas v'shalom, that we should go against, and we should have kfira against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. She'asnu lanu kol hanisim v'agvuros ha'elu v'nasu avodah zara. The women showed the greatest midah that exists, and that's hakaras hatayv. The men did not. The men immediately took off their jewelry and threw it in to make the egel. And it goes on, the Medrash. And the Medrash says the following. Not only did they say that, but they said, Chas v'shalom le'nishma lehem litei nizamenu. We will not listen to you to give our rings, to create lasoi shikutz ta'eva, to create an avodah zara she'ein bo koyach lahatzol. We know that an avodah zara has no strength to save us. V'nasan HaKadosh Baruch Hu schar l'nashim b'olam hazeh u'schar l'olam haba. So we see in Parshas Kisisa all those years ago that Aaron HaKohen knew the koyach of the nashim tzidkaniyos. And he knew that if he went to them, there was no way. They had a hakaras hatov, and they had a vision, and they understood that making an idol will not work. The men did not have the same vision. We all know the Gemara. The Gemara says, it's an interesting Gemara. The Gemara says that we were goyal from Mitzrayim because of the nashim tzidkaniyos. And asid lavai, today, in the times of Mashiach, we will be goyal once again because of the nashim tzidkaniyos, because of the schools that teach the young Jewish girls the derech Hashem. And I've repeated this many times in my chabura, and the boys accept it. And I said, you know, tefillin, tzitzis, daf yomi, koilel, fasting, 3 times a day davening with a minyan, and the Gemara says that the nashim tzidkaniyos are going to bring Mashiach. What about the guys? And they never complain. And I didn't understand. Why aren't they complaining? So a few months ago, I asked my shir, boys, you're just going to let me get away with this, that your sisters are going to bring Mashiach and you're not? And a boy got up, he said, Rabbi Wallerstein, is Mashiach here? I'm like, no. So it's their fault, not ours. That started a long time ago by the Eitz Hadas. Bezrat Hashem, next time I get up to speak, it'll be the opposite. Emetz Hashem, Mashiach will be here, and it will be your fault. And that's why you need a school like Prospect Yeshiva. Because you, the girls that I saw on the video tonight, amazing, amazing, are the ones, this door is a door that's going to bring Mashiach. But we are, Diyane Diyama, I want to talk to you about a very special girl who saved Klal Yisrael. And her name was Esther Hamalka. And it's a lesson that I talk to kids about all the time. People are struggling, kids are struggling, mothers and fathers are struggling, Shalom Bayis is struggling. You finally get married, there's a shidduch crisis, you finally get married. Then there's all kinds of organizations because people can't have children. And then there's all kinds of organizations for Shalom Bayis. And there's all kinds of organizations for Chas v'Shalom, all types of diseases. And there's camps for all types of diseases. And someone asked me, what's going on in this door? And really, every single door has a tzara. Every door has a tzara. But this door has them all together. Every tzara that you can imagine that Klal Yisrael has ever gone through, assimilation at 70%, kids off the derech, chilul Shabbos, whatever has ever happened in Klal Yisrael is all together in this one dar. And people get to brachen, and people say like, I don't understand, what am I supposed to do, Rabbi Wallerstein? What are we supposed to do? This is a fantastic medrash. You have to see this medrash before Purim. And it's a medrash, Rabbah and Esther, and it says the following. It says that when Esther's mother was pregnant 3 months, her father passed away. You can imagine, Nebuch, a woman's pregnant 3 months, and her husband dies, and she's left alone now, being pregnant without her husband. The Medrash says that when Esther was born, her mother died at childbirth. And that's why Mordechai had to adopt her. Esther never had parents. Imagine the levaya of her mother, what people were saying. How could HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this poor kid, no father, no mother, where's the Rachmanis? No parents. The Medrash says that when it came to the Gezerah, that we should be destroyed, the Malach of Amalek, the Malach of Esav came before HaKadosh Baruch Hu and said, in the schus of my great-grandfather Esav HaRasha, who kept Kibbut of V'aim for 21, 22 years, when Yaakov Avinu was away, and Yaakov Avinu did not keep it, I demand retribution, and that Haman's Gezerah should be kept. Says the Medrash, that the Malach Gabriel said, what are you saying? His mother sent him. Rivka sent him to get married. What are you talking about? It was Kibbut of V'aim. Said the Malach of Esav, his mother sent him. Then why the third 7 years did he work? His mother didn't send him to work. He worked 21 years, not 14 years. So by working the 7 years, he showed that it wasn't about Kibbut of V'aim. So he's chayav for all 21 years. And there was a very big zera in Shemayim, and we were in very big trouble. And the Malach Gabriel got up, and he said that there is one person in this door that is greater than Esav's Kibbut of V'aim. Who? This little girl named Esther. Why? The Malach Gabriel said to Hashem, she never, ever aggravated or talked back or didn't listen to her parents. She was perfect. Perfect. Said the Malach of Esav, that's not perfect. She didn't do anything wrong, but she didn't do anything right. Esav's still greater. Said the Malach Gabriel, by a Jew, machshava kemaisa. When you want to do something good, you want to give someone tzedakah and they disappear, they're not there anymore, it's considered you gave tzedakah. Every day of her life, when she was old enough to think, she cried to Hashem that I don't have parents, I'm not able to keep Kibbut of V'aim like the other children, forget PTA, forget them giving me time, that I'm not able to do this mitzvah of Kibbut V'aim. Every night she went to sleep with tears. I can't do Kibbut of V'aim. Machshava kemaisa. Her Kibbut of V'aim is perfect. Esav married a Canaanite. Esav served Avodah Zarah. He aggravated his mother and his father. She was perfect. So she was the weapon, the refuah, before the machla. And it explains something that's very hard to understand. And this is the lesson that I want to bring to tonight. So Mordechai, her uncle, says to her, you have to go to Achashverosh. She says, Achashverosh, if he doesn't put out his scepter, I'm dead. I can't do that. And Mordechai says something very interesting. He says the following. Al tadabi benafshech. Kim hacharesh tacharishi. If at this point you're going to waver, don't think you're the only one in the world, even though she was. You and your parents' house will be lost. And who knows? Actually, the Mefarshim explain, and who knows next year at this time when destruction is supposed to happen, if you'll still be the queen. You think you're safe? You think you're safe in the castle with the king? Next year, you may not be the queen anymore. Freit Chazal asked the Medrash, this is your niece. She's an orphan. She's telling you, you're sending me into a death trap. And instead of telling her, listen, we're going to fast for 3 days. We're going to daven. We're going to have all the Beis Yaakovs have a yom, a day of tznius. We're going to do everything. and Hashem will help you. That's what I would have told my daughter or my niece before I send her in to the king. In fact, that's what she told him. She said, you want me to go fast for 3 days, daven for 3 days, and maybe I'll be okay. Why did Mordechai trash talk her? You're a loser? You're lost? Your parents are lost? That's how you're talking to your niece? What's going on over here? How do we understand this? The teretz is very deep and the teretz is very real. And the answer is that Mordechai was telling Esther, and it's something that we all have to learn. Most of the things that we go through in life, Rav Shimshon Pincus, Allah Hashem said, are not our choice. We think we have bechira. Man or woman, not your choice. Jew or not Jew, unless you're a ger, not your choice. Who your parents are, not your choice. Who your siblings are, not your choice. What you look like, not your choice. What exactly is your choice? Who you marry, 40 days before you come to the world, they announce it. He said, a neidik avart, though. So then why do we have to go out on shidduchim? Why do we have to meet? Why are there emotions? Rav Shimshon said, even in marriage, this is very important in Shalom Bayis, in marriage, even if Hashem is goyzer this person to this person, if there's no input between the husband and the wife, it won't work. So even though it's announced 40 days before, there still has to be input. So we have to go through the shidduch and we have to go through the emotions. But Lamaisa, we don't have choice. We don't. Most of the things in life that happen, sickness, all these things, we don't have choice. The big things, the trauma that I deal with, it's not the kid's choice what happened. I spoke about it a little bit before. So the things, the really big things in life, you don't have a choice. So Rav Shimshon said, what do you have a choice? What's your choice? And he said, the only choice you have in life is what do you do with the things you have no choice? You step in or you step out. You step up or you step down. He says that's the choice being toiv l'ra. That you are a woman, that you are a man, that those are your parents, that those are your siblings, that you are in that community, that that is your husband. All the things that aren't your choice, what do you do with the things that you have no choice? That's the only choice you have. Is either you step in or step out. Said Mordechai to his niece, you lost both your parents. It wasn't your choice. You know why you lost both your parents? Because you're the only one that can save Klal Yisrael. If you don't step up and you don't use your pain for gain, you don't use the stuff that you went through to help others that are going through the same, you and your parents, it's a loss. It's for no reason. You could have had parents. You could have lived a life like everyone else. If you don't use your koyach of what you lost for the gain of Klal Yisrael, then why did you have to suffer? And Esther HaMalka understood this. And she was Moisa Nefesh. And I want to read you what happened in the end as it's explained in the Kabbalistic Forum. The Kabbalistic Forum say that when it says Hamelech in the Megillah, it's talking about Hashem if it doesn't say the words Achashverosh. So listen carefully, ladies. Amen. He did everything he was supposed to do. And it was on the third day. Tilbash Esther Malchus. What does that mean? That's not clothing. That's not clothing. Malchus is not clothing. She dressed herself in Malchus. Or Bas Yisrael is Malchus. Vatamoy b'chatzar beis hamelech, says the Medrash, says the Zohar, she stood in the chatzar of HaKadosh Baruch Hu hapnimius, God's inner chamber. Noichach beis hamelech, v'hamelech yoshev al kisei malchusoi. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu was sitting on his throne. Noichach Pesach Habayis. Vayehi kirois hamelech, as Esther, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw a girl, a woman who was willing to be Meiser Nefesh for Klal Yisrael. Oy medas b'chatzer, standing in his chatzer, nasachein be'einav. She found favor, even though it was a time of din. It became a time of rachamim. Vayoshet hamelech le'Esther esharbet hazav asher biyadai. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whatever it means, put down his scepter. Vatikrav Esther vatiga b'roish hasharbet. When you're willing to be Meiser Nefesh yourself, when you're willing to stand in Chatzar HaMelech with your clothing of Malchus, that you're a Bas Yisrael, when you're willing to be Meiser Nefesh yourself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will touch you with his scepter. Vayayim Alei HaMelech Malach Esther HaMalka, because said HaKadosh Baruch Hu, anything you want. What do you want? Umapa Kashaseich. What's your request? Chatzi HaMalchus. V'yinasan lach Chatzi HaMalchus. There's two Malchus. There's Shemayim v'Aretz. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Aretz is yours. Chatzi HaMalchus. What was her koyach, ladies and gentlemen? Her koyach was the stuff she went through. Her koyach was losing two parents. Her koyach was being Meiser Nefesh and putting on what every Bas Yisrael has, and that's Big Day Malchus. And that's what this school is all about. This school is about taking Big Day Malchus and putting it on every single girl. And if a girl leaves and is wearing Big Day Malchus, then she's welcome in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Chatzar HaPnimiyus. There's a lot of people in this room, and I don't know your lives, but a lot of people have gone through a lot of things that weren't your choice. If you waver, and you get depressed, and you give up, and you waver, ke'achreish tacharishi, ke'es hazois, and you don't use, and I'm talking to the men just as much, and you don't use the stuff that you went through to help others, at ubeis avich tevedu. Everything you went through is lost. But if you pick your head up and you're like, I'm going to take this pain and I'm going to use it to help others, you're an Esther Hamalka. So my bracha to everyone in this room, we should have the schus. You know, Purim is always before Pesach. Purim is the Nisim Nistarim. You have to have the Emunah and the Nisim Nistarim for Hashem to show us the Nisim Nigloim. I very much believe that the koyach of the school, and I was just watching the awardees, just the love of the certain teachers that were awarded here tonight. That's Big Day Malchus. That's Megillas Esther. May we all be Zoicha, Bezrat Hashem. I just said this last night. It says that the Batei Knesiyos are going to go to Eretz Yisrael. The Batei Midrashos, you know, people don't look at girls' schools as Batei Midrashos, but it's a mistake because the woman is the Ikeres HaBayis. So I believe that not just the boys' schools and the yeshivas are going to go to Eretz Yisrael, but the girls' schools. There's a machlokes when Mashiach comes, if the Beis HaMikdash is going to be Yerushalayim, or it's going to be the whole Klal Yisrael, and the rest of the world is going to be Yerushalayim. And the Beis HaMikdash in Mirz Hashem will be built with Eish, which is hard to understand. How could a Kayin, I'm a Kayin, how am I going to walk into a building that's burning? And the answer, a beautiful answer that was given, it's not Eish, it's not fire, it's not a candle that's burning on your table, but it's the Eish, it's the fire of the love of Klal Yisrael has to Hashem and to each other, and the davening and the learning. And in a girls' school, just as much as in a boys' school, you go listen to the girls, how they daven with kavana and with love. All that Eish is going to end up building the Beis HaMikdash. You can be proud that Prospect Park is going to have a big part of that building. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you, Rabbi Wallerstein, for those warm words. We surely need to internalize that message and take it to heart and utilize that message for the benefit of our families. At this point, I'd like you to turn to the video screen for the school video. See if you can find your wonderful kids.
This is where I love to daven.
This is where questions are encouraged.
This is where I fell in love with reading.
This is where we inspire creativity.
This is where Torah comes alive. This is where I am challenged to reach my potential.
This is where teachers inspire students.
This is where we prepare the students for the future. This is where I'm reading a hug and smile.
This is where teamwork is valued.
This is where we learn through innovation.
This is where I can share anything with my teacher. This is where I love to learn mitos. This is where I learn the skills to succeed.
This is where we learn to be part of a community.
This is where gym is fun. This is where I was taught how to think, not what to think.
This is where I learned to be confident.
This is where I met my best friend.
This is where Torah is not a subject, but a way of life.
This is where I discovered my talents.
This is where each student is unique and special.
This is where I love teaching.
This is where I love learning Parsha.
This is where we develop students of integrity.
This is where I love to smile. This is where we learn Halacha, Chumash, Navi, Shabbos, Parsha, Ivris, Diktuk, Yos Kalyos, and Yehadis. This is where I learn to share. This is where growth is valued, not graded.
This is where I found my inner strength.
This is where teenagers can be teenagers.
This is where we pride ourselves on our intellectual rigor and academic standards.
This is where I love to do mitzvahs. This is where the future is ours. This is where I belong. This is Prospect Park Yeshiva. This is Prospect Park Yeshiva.
This is Prospect Park Yeshiva.
This is Prospect Park Yeshiva. This is Prospect Park Yeshiva.
This is where now start too early.
This is where we pride ourselves on our academical rigor.
What did I say? I said I'm not really in this class.
That's okay. We're just using it like pretend.
You know I'm in the other class. Hi.
This is where we pride ourselves on our intellectual rigor and academical standards. Academic standards.
Okay, one more time.
This is where I belong. I said that already.
This is where I was peer pressured to be part of the video. Wait, no. I don't know.
One more time.
That's what it's all about, seeing our children smile and be happy and yet love to learn. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Dessert will be served shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to introduce Deputy Commissioner Scholl, Chief Scholl, to say a few words.
Thank you, Rabbi Kelman. Dr. Mendel, thank you also. It's hard to follow the eloquent words of Rabbi Wallerstein, but I'll give it my best. It's an honor for the New York City Police Department to be here tonight when one of our own is being recognized. You couldn't make a better choice, Rabbi, than Lieutenant Jablonski. He personifies what community service is all about. The other honorees, I am so impressed to be in their presence. You should be very proud. The NYPD always gets the credit for making this a better city, the best in the world. But it's educational institutions like the Prospect Park Yeshiva that produce fine young women like this that make this city great. The parents, mothers and fathers should be extremely proud of your children. Thank you, and thank the Prospect Park Yeshiva.
The Chaim is just not feeling good, otherwise he would have...
Hundreds of families spent this Father's Day at a safety-themed carnival at Floyd Bennett Field. News Talk Brooklyn's Ali Wolf is there now with more on the event.
That's right, this is a fun event for families. You can see there's a bounce house behind me and there's music going on, but the whole idea is to teach children about safety. There's an FDNY fire safety unit here where kids are going inside and learning about the importance of smoke detectors. There's also a Shomrim safety patrol vehicle, and there, children are learning how officers work to keep the community safe. This is the second annual safety day organized by the Jewish nonprofit Magenu. The co-founder says the event is meant to be fun, but also educational for kids, and organizers say they especially want children to understand that they are in control of their own bodies.
We believe that it's really important for children to be empowered these days and to learn that their body does belong to them and that they have the right to say no.
There's jumping rides and there's food and there's fire trucks and ambulances they could go in and really learn a lot about safety.
And the nonprofit that organized this event goes into local Jewish schools and Hebrew schools to teach children about these lessons in safety. From Floyd Bennett Field, Ali Wolf, News 12, Brooklyn.